and welcome. I am Lily, and today we will be discussing the ins and outs of optimizing the function of your lymphatic system. While my boyfriend bangs in the kitchen. I'm sorry. But before we do, I need to mention that YouTube has been automatically unsubscribing many of you. If you want to stay up to date with my videos, please double check and make sure that you are subscribed and consider hitting that little bell notification button so that you'll be notified when I post a new video. Now, to the lymphatics. The lymphatic system is a network of lymph vessels and nodes that carry a clear fluid called lymph. The lymphatic system's main functions involve fluid balance and transport, as well as vital work for the immune system. When your heart pumps blood into the tiny capillaries that are interlaced into virtually every square millimeter of your body, most of the fluid, called plasma, diffuses through the capillaries into the surrounding tissue, where it's called interstitial fluid. Most of that interstitial fluid is reabsorbed by your veins and returns to the heart along with red blood cells. But a small portion of the interstitial fluid stays behind. The lymphatic system helps regulate interstitial fluid balance by providing a return route for that fluid. Additionally, lymphatic fluid is rich in lymphocytes, which are a subtype of white blood cells that include natural killer cells, T cells, and B cells. These and other white blood cells are especially concentrated in lymph nodes, where they deal with various viruses, bacteria, proteins, and other cellular waste products our lymphatic system transports, contains, and neutralizes. As is probably obvious, a healthy and functional lymphatic system is vital to good health, including effective immunity. Unfortunately, a lot about our modern life, like spending long periods of time sitting, eating high-fat diets, wearing tight clothing and underwear, and chronic dehydration, works against our lymphatic system and results in sluggish, stodgy lymph, which puts us at a higher risk for not only acne, but all types of infections and diseases, including cancer. Symptoms of lymphatic stagnation include, but aren't limited to, acne breakouts, cellulite, chronic under-eye bags, postnasal drip, chronically swollen tonsils, bloating, puffy face, neck or extremities, breast swelling, lethargy, brain fog, constipation, frequent or recurring illness, and slow recovery from illnesses. If you suspect you're dealing with a sluggish lymphatic system, or if you just like to generally take excellent care of yourself and cover all of your bases, there's plenty you can do to improve and support lymphatic health. It's going to be a two-pronged approach. Prong 1 is going to be aiding natural detoxification, while prong 2 is improving general lymphatic flow. We will start with improving body-wide detoxification. Now, I'm not going to do this like most people do this. We are not going to water fast. We are not going to juice fast. We are not going to force ourselves to take a ton of expensive bullshit supplements, because none of that stuff is necessary. And no one, not no one, is getting a colonic, okay? This said, there are a few simple and relatively easy lifestyle changes we can make that'll help out our lymphatic system quite a bit. First is to sip warm fluids regularly. Warm, not scalding hot. Sounds super appetizing, doesn't it? An old standard therapy is sipping warm water every 10 to 15 minutes throughout the day. This practice helps to rehydrate and warm the body, which lowers fluid viscosity. This is a lot easier than it used to be, since we now have fantastically insulated thermoses everywhere. Case in point. But that convenience doesn't solve the problem that warm water, in my opinion, tastes disgusting. You could use warm lemon water, but then you're dealing with the whole issue of exposing your tooth enamel to acidic fluid all day, which causes its own problems. So my advice is to brew yourself some various types of herbal tea and sip those pleasant warm fluids every 10 to 15 minutes throughout the day. If this sounds like a ridiculous commitment, I totally understand. I wouldn't be sipping something every 15 minutes unless I had a cold or I was trying to recover from some kind of acute issue. So for most of us who might just have like low-level, chronically sluggish lymph, Some warm herbal tea in the morning and the evening would be a big boost and is totally adequate. And the herbal teas bring us to number 2. Even though I'm a big skeptic when it comes to the inflated hype of many herbal supplements, especially when said supplements are used as a band-aid, ignoring the importance of diet and lifestyle, certain herbs are great for supporting detoxification in general and supposedly enhance lymph flow. Before I get into the recommendations, I do want to give you a couple of warnings. 1. If you're dealing with an acute or chronic disease, especially if that disease affects your kidney or liver function, don't be stupid and blindly take advice from people on YouTube. You need to talk to either a doctor or a qualified herbalist who has their shit together. If they use phrases like intuitive vibrational resonance, get the fuck out of their camper van office and go find someone who knows if they're about to make your kidneys fail. Second, I make no promises about the palatability of this stuff. A lot of these detoxifying herbs make some hella awful tea. So don't brew yourself a gallon thinking you'll be clever and get yourself extra purified because wishing you were dead, giving up, and eating an entire birthday cake isn't good for lymphatic flow either. I speak from experience in case you couldn't pick up on that. If you really want to go the herbal route and you don't have the willpower to drink 8 ounces of bitter as fuck dandelion sludge, consider using an herbal tincture or pills. The herbs generally used for detoxification and lymphatic health are cleavers, aka goosegrass, which works mainly as a diuretic, calendula, which is used for decongesting the lymph, and it's also quite calming and wonderful before bed. Ginger root you can use either fresh or powdered, and it's known for its cleansing and warming properties. And now we get into the gross tasting herbs. Astragalus eases congestion and swelling. It can taste bitter. Dandelion root is a well-known kidney detoxifier, and it tastes like absolute crap. Wild indigo root is detoxifying. It improves lymph flow, supposedly, and reduces glandular swelling. It's also known for its nauseating taste. So do as you please. I personally enjoy the mix of calendula, ginger, turmeric, and licorice root as my tea. It tastes fantastic. It tastes fantastic, and it's anti-inflammatory to boot. All of these herbs can be bought in bulk online or at your local health food store. I like the Mountain Rose Herbs website, which I will put in the description box below. If I forget, tell me and I owe you $5. Using medicinal herbs is a great addition to lymph support routine, but there's no need to go crazy with it. Next up, improve your gut health. Not many of us realize, but all around our digestive tract is lymphatic tissue. It's our first mucoid line of defense against consumed pathogens and toxins. So think about what happens to the contamination levels of our lymph when we eat processed junk food, meat, and dairy, all of which are absolutely saturated with living and dead bacteria and their metabolic toxins. Or think about what happens when you have an overgrowth of pathogenic bacteria pumping out all of their metabolic waste. It's all up to the lymphatic system, kidneys, and liver to deal with that stuff, which is why it's super important to take care of your intestinal tract by eating fiber, prebiotic, and antioxidant-rich whole plant foods, eating a low-fat diet to limit intestinal permeability, limiting antibiotic use, limiting the use of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, considering alternatives to the oral contraceptive pill, taking probiotics if necessary, and staying well hydrated. Gut health is a major reason I don't recommend fasting or colonics. When we fast, our beneficial gut microbes are starved of their usual food, and many species will actually resort to consuming our own protective gut lining called the mucin. Big problems. Fourth recommendation is sunshine. UV rays from the sun are antimicrobial. They can also penetrate up to 1.5 inches beneath your skin. This neutralizing effect can be really helpful to your immune system as it works tirelessly to manage the constant barrage of pathogens we're exposed to. Just be smart about it. 20 to 30 minutes of sun exposure is really all that you need. You don't have to bake yourself for hours and cause sun damage. Detoxing is only a small part of the puzzle though. The most important thing is to just get out of your body's way and allow it to do its own work because it knows what it's doing. To stay out of your body's way and keep lymph fluid flowing efficiently, I recommend the following. First, Hydration. Dehydrated people have dehydrated bodily fluids. Blood thickens, so your heart has to pump harder. Synovial fluid thickens and creates friction in your joints. Cerebrospinal fluid thickens, which can affect brain function, and lymph fluid is not excused from this trend. 64 to 100 ounces of clean, remineralized water takes care of hydration needs, and 16 to 32 of those ounces first thing in the morning when you wake up is a great way to boost your body's fluid levels after a dehydrating night. Second recommendation for optimizing lymph flow is to focus your diet on juicy, fresh fruits and vegetables, especially for the first half of the day. Eating really hydrating foods early in the day is a great way to decongest all bodily fluids and keep lymph thin and flowing. If this doesn't sound logistically possible given your lifestyle, don't stress. Incorporate juicy, fresh foods whenever possible and just be thoughtful of making sure you're drinking enough water. Next up, exercise. Since the lymphatic system has no dedicated pump, it relies mostly on muscular contraction and dynamic bodily movement to move lymph against gravity. Any exercise works, like walking, jogging, weightlifting, yoga, tai chi, rebounding. If you're feeling especially stagnant, I highly advise walking and yoga, including restorative yoga. You really can't beat the twists and inversions of yoga when it comes to lymph flow. And there's really something to be said for having nice, strong muscles that contract regularly to pump that lymph from your extremities against gravity. So don't ignore weight training. Also, with most exercise, it raises your core body temperature, which can prevent the growth of some pathogenic bacteria in lymph fluid. Additionally, sweating is an important mode of detoxification and helps encourage fluid exchange, which aids lymph flow. Fourth recommendation is spending time in a hot sauna. This one could go in both categories because it's also detoxifying, but spending time in a hot temperature sauna can be great for a couple of reasons. First, the heat helps to raise your core body temperature, much as with exercise, which helps to inhibit pathogen growth, a lot like when you pop off a fever when you're sick. When you're in a sauna, you also, obviously, sweat like a mofo, which can be truly amazing for detoxification and fluid exchange, especially if you do some really light stretching while you're in the sauna. But I say light stretching. You don't want to overstretch your muscles or ligaments. Also, if you're sweating like a mofo, make sure you're drinking water like a mofo too. And you'd be wise to drink water containing a couple of mineral drops and or the tiniest pinch of natural salt. Along with 10 to 15 minute trips to the sauna, you can also include cold showers into your routine to really get the fluids under your skin moving. Next recommendation is massage. So there's a specific type of massage called lymphatic drainage massage, which is a very light technique that's used on subcutaneous lymph. It's shockingly effective considering how feather light the touch is. The type of massage that I do is stronger and focused mostly on muscles and connective tissue, though to be fair, it also moves lymph. What lymphatic drainage massage technique acknowledges though is that touch that's too heavy and aggressive can and does cause more lymphatic stagnation and inflammation. If you don't know where to find a lymphatic drainage massage therapist, or if you don't want to pay someone $80 an hour to brush you with their fingertips, you can do a similar version of massage on yourself. It's especially effective in the face and neck area. Or you can opt for my sixth recommendation, which is dry brushing. Using a dry body brush in light circular motions all over your body is really effective and delicious feeling way to move your own lymph and exfoliate your skin. Dry brushing is also great because it encourages the formation of elastin and collagen, which tends to disappear as we get older. Check out my video on dry brushing if you have more questions. Next recommendation at number 7 is to wear loose-fitting clothes. Tight pants, waistbands, bras, especially underwire bras, and even tight yoga clothes and compression gear for working out all restricts the flow of lymph. Wearing tight clothes for some part of the day, like when you're doing a high-impact workout, is totally fine, but just do your best to have a good chunk of the day when you're moving around, so like not when you're just asleep, and you're wearing loose-fitting clothes. Number 8, look into a standing or walking desk if your job is sedentary. Sitting, because it causes a sharp hinge at the hips, impedes lymph flow in a big way. Also, when we're at our desks and working in front of us, generally speaking, the shoulder blades wrap around the rib cage and come forward, which impedes lymphatic flow through the armpits. To add insult to injury, more often than not, we sit in a head forward position, which severely impedes lymph drainage from the head and neck. Good posture, regular breaks for moving, stretching, and walking around, or investing in a work setup that will allow you to have a stand-up or walking style desk will do a lot to improve the health of your lymph system. Number 9, think about stress. Keep in mind that when we're stressed, we tend to stop taking big breaths and we lock up our muscles, both of which create stagnation and constriction of the lymphatic system. If you have a stressful job or life, set regular timers throughout the day to remind you to pause, take a few big, deep breaths, and do some basic stretches. And think about something positive and encouraging for yourself, like quitting your job, selling your goddamn teenagers, and living in a camper van office on the beach in Acapulco. You can have a thriving practice as an intuitive, vibrational resonance herbalist in no time. Alright, well, we could probably go on and on about the lymphatic system, but I'm going to stop here because if you just focus on these basics, you'll see a big improvement in the effectiveness of your lymphatic system and your general health. If you have more questions about diet and lifestyle, please check out this video. And all questions, comments, and video requests go down below in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by hitting that wee little thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe and opt for notifications. Until next time, make better choices for yourself. No one else is going to do it for you, and take really, really good care. I will see you soon. Most of that interstitial fluid.
I'm done.
Oh, great, thanks. See?
Wow!
How it works?
That's freaking cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you're pretty legit.
I have my mom.
Lighting. The windows are closed. What's up with that?
Keeps the noise down. Yeah. Mr. You fucking whore next door.
You can't put that part because fucking they watch this shit.
They don't watch this.
Yeah, they do.
They're not gonna watch a video about their lymphatic systems.
Don't post it. You know word gets routed out here. This is a fucking island.
I'm sorry, but everyone can hear him scream, you fucking whore. Wild indigo root is detoxifying. It improves. Wild indigo root is detoxifying. Wild. It's our first mucoid line of defense. Fuck! Along with 10 to 15 minute trips, you can also include cold showers in your... Did you guys not see him come in here and tell me he was done?